video I really love. I think it's called the Ames Chicago Powers of 10 video, made by IBM, 1977. And it starts with a picnic in Chicago, and it's 1 meter by 1 meter is the picnic blanket. And then it starts zooming out, and then you can see bigger and bigger things. I highly recommend the video. Today, I just want to talk about the relationship between meters and other things. So, meters, abbreviated M. If I asked you, what is the relationship of 1 centimeter to meters? How many meters is 1 centimeter? You're probably thinking something like this. 100 centimeters is 1 meter. How many meters is 1 centimeter? It's 1/100th of a meter, which is the same thing as 0.01 meters. I'll get to the next part later. I'm just gonna leave that part blank for now. Like, you know about millimeters. A millimeter is even smaller, like a bug. Centimeters, like slightly bigger than this, but it's about the size of an eraser on your pencil. A millimeter is even smaller. So 1 millimeter is how many meters? Milli. It doesn't mean million. It means 1/1000th of a meter. You can write it as a fraction or as a decimal. All right, what is in between centimeters and meters? A decimeter, like a decimal, decimeter. It's DM is the abbreviation. And a decimeter is 1, think decade. Decade is 10 years, you got it. 1/10th of a meter. If I write that as a decimal, it's 0.1. Rearrange. That was just a little rearrange of my board. You see, I've got this big blank spot happening. I'm going to fill that in a little bit. I remind you, there's this thing that we say, especially in science class. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. Or you could say, King Henry died Monday drinking chocolate milk. That's another one. The Monday is for meter, and the U is for unit. So if you look here, if this is the meters, and then you're going down, this is the decimeters, is the D. You keep going like century, 100 years, and then milli, which is like a Romance language, like mille. So if we're going to go up now, what is the next biggest thing? It's a decameter. Like decade, but decameter. And instead of abbreviating it like decimeter, we're going to abbreviate it DAM to make it look different than decimeter. Guess how many meters are in a decameter? 10. You are right. I think that's probably what you said. What comes next? We keep going up. H. What is the H for? hecto. It's 1 HM. Guess how many? Are you seeing a pattern here? 100 meters. To the very top, the king part of King Henry. Yeah, kilo, you're right. You knew it. 1 kilometer. That's what people that are not in the US use instead of miles. And that is 1,000 meters. Now you probably already guessed what my columns are. I'll label them. This column is the fractions. Fractions. This column is decimals. This column is abbreviations. And this column is the roots. Now I'm going to fill in the powers of 10. This one is the easiest one. 10 meters is 10 to the first. 100 is 10 to the second. 1,000 is 10 to the third. I'm still going to write meters for everything. Here's where it gets tricky. If you're dividing, you go from 10 to the third is 1,000. Divide by 10 is 100, which is 10 squared. Divide by 10 again, you get 10, which is 10 to the first. Divide by 10 again, and it's 10 to the 0th power is 1. That's a rule. Anything to the 0th power, except for 0. I'm going to keep going down. This 1/10 is 10 to the -1 meter, so that we can keep this beautiful pattern going. 3, 2, 1, 0, -1. What a beautiful pattern. Now I'm going to keep dividing. 1 over 100. 1/100th is 10 to the -2nd meters. And 1/1000th is 10 to the -3rd meters. This is really exciting for a lot of people because they think that a negative exponent should have a negative answer, but that is not true. A negative exponent actually means a fraction or a decimal, depending on what format you want to write it in. It's very odd, but that is how we roll. Booyah.